Hey guys, we may have stuffed up. That's where I'm at with this. We may have stuffed up. Um, Apologies. Hey Kevin. Hi Stuart. Hi David. Peter, g'day. Matt's g'day. Mark Osborne, hello. Kevin, g'day. Look, we may have stuffed up. There's a new feature. There's a few new features on YouTube Live, which I'm still struggling to get my head around. Team Biscuits, Bill, g'day. Now, are we sideways? There's a question. Are we sideways? No, we're not sideways. That's good. Excellent. There's room for a guest. If anyone wants to be a guest, put your hand up and I'll send you a link. In fact, I'm going to do better than that. I can't do better than that. I can't actually type. Okay, no idea. If anyone wants to fill up the rest of the screen, have we got the full screen or is there room for a guest? Is that what we got? Hey, Fridge. Is my picture only on half the screen? That's where I'm at. Hey, Frank. It's in the middle. Now, anyone who wants to join in the live stream, you're very welcome to. If you go to the Discord channel, to the general chat, there is a link. You're very welcome to click on the link and come join the live stream. Because I think I've screwed up. Anyway, that's really neither here nor there. We're here anyway. Just in best dressed, right? It's on the Discord screen. The link's there. If anyone wants to join in, go and click on it. And if you're first here, you get the spot. There we go. I'm good with that. And if someone turns up, well, we'll have fun with that. But I didn't do what I expected it to do. Put it that way. And here we are. Okay. Don't do it naked, Peter. So, what do we do? What's been happening? What exciting things are going down? Not a lot, really. The last few days have been pretty busy. I actually had a mental health day, I guess, on Monday, which I probably needed, and did a little bit to the engine. Does my sound keep dropping out. I just stop talking. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I think I've messed up pretty royally, so you'll have to put up with that. But we're not going to get a flat battery or anything like that. But only just. Hear me, but only just. Righto. Let's. Full volume. Okay. Maybe I've messed up because this wasn't really what I was planning to do. Stuart went to Waratah for the day. That sounds like fun. Okay, well, if you can live with it. Anyway, I'm just saying that link's there, and if you went and clicked on the link, you might be able to join the live stream if you're really up for that. We might do this more often if I can work out how to do it. This engine, we've spent a bit of time on that. Probably more than we should have this last weekend, but we got a bit done. We got valve guides in. These are a bit tricky. As anyone who's built one of these and probably a test, and probably they're more trickier than what I actually got. It's got a terrible echo. Sorry, David. Not really doing anything different to what I normally do, so I'm not sure about that. Don't know. Anyway, valve guides are machine between centres. I've drilled them through this one and this one. Well, made them separately, but I've drilled them through, cut them to length and drilled them through, and then set these up between centres and machined each end, turned them round. So they should be concentric to the middle bores. That was the idea with that. So they're done. And they're pressed in. They look like they'll be pretty good. I don't think they're coming out. They ain't going to leak around the seals anyway, and around the stems. But we'll see. I had a bit of a stuff up with this muffler last time, which you may or may not have picked up on. What happened was that when I set this up square, this hole here wasn't directly up and down. So this was on a bit of an angle, like, well, whichever way it was. And it's a bit ugly. So I've bushed that, drilled it out a bit bigger and bushed it and retapped it, and now it stands upright. So that was another job. Yeah, no worries. We'll do a test run, Bill. Made this, which is two separate parts. It's hollow inside and round, or sort of round. It's just got nuts in between it and 8BA bolts in it for the point, and it's not really the answer. And it's still got to be soldered on there. But that's a cap and a bottom with bolts between them. So I made that up. And that looks all right. So I did that. Made a flange which goes on this one here, I think, somewhere there for the mixer or the muffler, the carby or whatever you want to call it. It goes on there. So I did that. Stuart says the link's not working. Sorry, don't know. Don't think I can get a link from here from this device. We might do a test run and see what actually happens at some point. And then if I've got some sort of knowledge, then maybe we can make it work again. Anyway, at this point I've got no knowledge at all. It says that my orientation locks and we've got to rotate my device back horizontal. if I rotate it back horizontal, then all my chat is actually the wrong way up, so that doesn't work for me either. Anyway, that's what we got. Here's a bit of an interesting thing. Everyone's sort of been saying, what, besides measuring holes, how useful are gauge pins? Here's a little hot tip that might gosh, I've got these boxes piled up a little bit too tall with the smallest ones on the bottom. Say you got something like this and you want to clamp it in the vise to machine the sides off after you've drilled the 3 holes and you've got a boss in the middle. Now, if you set it up crooked, then this hole's going to be over this side and this hole's going to be over this side, or the other way around. If you measure this boss, probably they're like that anyway, but don't look too close. Actually, I don't really think that's how they are. It's just an optical illusion. If you measure this boss, work out the diameter, and then find a pin that fits in these in here, nice and snug. Whichever one it is, I don't know what it is. That one's way too small. But anyway, you work out what size that is and measure that, and you divide them both by half, and then subtract one from the other. Then if you get another gauge pin, that diameter, you can slide it underneath this one, and you've got 2 points to level this up so that you can set it up. So it's just a useful tip if you're moving something like this. Then you can turn it over and machine the other side the same. So I don't know if that was even a little bit like coherent, but that's just something I thought of. But that's done. There you go. Someone's actually Googling stuff. Don't know. We'll have a mess with it at some point. Don't stress too much about it now. So, also, this face here was a bit ugly, so I machined that one in there. I machined that off while we had it set up. And I masked all this up so that it didn't get too much dirt down inside here when I was machining on here. But some of it has gone down, and we've got a crunchy spot in here, I think, again. So this has all got to be pulled apart and cleaned and put back together like we do every time. And if we pull this apart and clean it and put it back together, then while we're doing it, I need to do some machine work on this side here and a few things like that. So that's a job for some time. I don't know how to get that link into the chat. Click add guest. And it's got every other option besides share link in chat. Everything else. Don't know. Sorry, guys. Job for Tuesday. Yeah, you've got it. So that's where that's going. That's sort of what I've been messing around with this. So I got a bit done, I think. Certainly got muffler sorted out. It still needs to be soldered on. We've got to made a start on the mixer, sort of made it a flange. We've got a valve guides in. We've got to make some valves at some point, which I'm not looking forward to. This looks like I'm probably procrastinating all the difficult jobs, and it's somewhat near the truth, but there's still lots of bits to make. Anyway, there we go. That was one of the things we did. This is another one. It's a 3D print. It's a pretty awful 3D print. Actually, I'm not real happy with it. Probably I'm going to print them again. The only person who probably knows what this is we'll talk Sunday, Monday. The only person who probably knows what this is, it's a casting pattern. Might be in the chat. But anyway, if anyone knows what that is, let me know. There's a couple of different ones, but we're getting there with that. Hey, John. I'm going to put these gauge pins away before I tip everything off. Oh my gosh, sorry, excuse me. Mute for very small trombone, probably. I'm also going to put this box of BA nuts and bolts away too before we knock these over, because this would be fraught with problems. Put them up on the shelf. There's also a box of BA taps and dies. We might put that away too. There we go, fixed. 624 Dudley, g'day. Dan's got a little Roby stationary engine. It's not even little, it's a proper Roby steam plant, and it's got a big cast iron base with a water tank in it and a vertical boiler about, I guess, a bit less than a metre diameter and 2 and a bit metres tall. And it's got a little single cylinder horizontal engine and water pump on the side of it. It's quite a nice little engine, which is in place in the sawmill to run the line shaft eventually, I think. Hey, Raymond. Now, it's missing a couple of oil caps, which sort of look like this. Ross, g'day. I've put a bit of draft on these so they come out of the mould, and so they're easy to mould, and I don't know if this is really the answer. But the thing is, if you leave these flat across the bottom, you've got quite a heavy part in here and a thin part in here, and they're a bit hard to get the brass to run in. Maybe I'm going to have to think about that. I might just make them so that we can mould them that way up. Well, all the others have got these on them, and there's a couple that don't. So anyway, I thought, well, while I was down there the other day, I'd measure them up and I'd do these as a birthday present for Dan. So got to cast these in brass, and then we've left a spigot on here to machine this up and machine it inside out nice. And so they sit in the hole, and then you can set them up on this end once it's all machined and just round the top over, hopefully. That's the theory. So that's this project I sort of work on half-heartedly too. So that's just another thing that everyone needs. Still got bits of this starting valve that need a bit of work. We're slowly getting it together, but getting all the castings ready so that I can go up to the foundry, and when we come back I can put it together pretty easy probably. So that's another job. There's some fairly, what else was I going to say? Don't know what else I've really got much to say about. Could put some of this stuff away because the place is looking a bit lived in. I had a heap of end mills that I sorted are no longer in their boxes, which are over there on the bench, and I probably should put them in this box, but I'll put this box away too. Black book, which is out all the time, can't live without that. This is the drawing for the mixer, or the carburetor, or whatever you want to call it. It's a fuel mixer, I guess. This flange goes on top. See, there's the flange. And this pipe's got a bend in it. It's not a very easy thing to make. One is because it's 1.25 inches or something long, and it's got a 7/64 drill down through the middle of it, opened out on each end. So the smart way to really do it is to, I'm guessing, is to machine this end, open it out, and then drill, I don't know, maybe do it in a collet, drill this end and drill this end, and then drill the middle. I really don't know. And then it's got this bend here, which is a 30-degree bend. And the measurement for the length we've got is from there to there, and from this side of the bend to this end of the tube. So if you bend this 30 degrees, I'm guessing it's going to stretch that much. We just live with it. Seems a bit sort of terrible, actually. Once that's on, this is just soldered in the flange, and this is, once the bend's done, that end soldered in the flange, and this end soldered in the choke assembly. And this piece here, which is probably a bit of round, I think, has a hole cross drilled in it, might be square, and that's soldered on there, and then this here is drilled right through, and then there's a sewing needle that goes in the mixture screw, and there's a cap that goes on the end with a thread in it, and a screw or a tube onto this chamber here that goes to the fuel tank. Does that make any sense at all? It's a bit terrible, really. This piece in here with the holes in it is actually soldered in place, and then this disc on top, which looks like this with 4 holes in it, a screw in the middle, and a little lever, actually opens and shuts for the choke assembly. Between this hole here in the fuel tank, right, there's the fuel tank, and this pipe, there's got to be some sort of non-return valve, but I've got no idea what that is either. Still learning a lot. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to go ahead and make this actual piece at this point, or yet, but maybe one day. There's still lots to do on the engine. What probably needs to be done is to source some springs. Long drawing. It's that drawing down there. It's this one, I think. Most of the bits on here are actually made, or half the bits on this drawing already made. So it says here, let's find an actual light. There we go. It says intake valve spring is 18 thou wire, 1/4 inch diameter and 7/8 long free length, effective coil, 8 effective coils with 1/4 inch compression at 6 ounces. That's quite exact. The exhaust valve has got similar sort of information. It's a bit heavier, it's thicker wire, and compresses a bit more compression on it, and you've got a few more coils. So they're the two valves, and then that's the valve there, which is inch and 5/8, which is what, 40 mil long, or a little bit more, and it's 93 thou diameter to go in the valve guides, and it's got that hex on the end with a 45-degree angle, and a pin across the end to retain it. And then it's got one of these on the end to hold the spring in place, which is the same diameter as the valve guide, with a little recess to stop the pin falling out. The spring goes in between. So these don't look particularly simple parts. If we can get that done, then it's time to basically compression test the head, or pressure test it. And if we can get some sort of pressure test on the head, well, I'd feel more confident in going along and doing the rest. Who knows? There's still lots of bits to make. There's all these bits here, which are your ignition timing, and there's these bits here, which are your valve push rod, and there's a rocker. There's a cutout lever, and governor weights, and this governor weight yoke. They're all fun bits. So I don't know, haven't quite given up, but I feel like I'm about halfway on this engine, and I was thinking before that I was a bit further advanced than that. Anyway, we're getting there. The lathe could do with a vacuum. It's covered in brass and cast iron swarf at the moment. We need to do that. I meant to do that tonight. It just didn't happen. So that's a job. Who's got exciting videos out? I haven't seen one on John's little engine yet, but apparently it's running, which is pretty exciting. I see one from Buell, maybe. What else? I put a video out this week. It's a bit sort of sketchy, and it's very low on content. But basically it's us crawling around under a roller again, and actually a bit of fun from the weekend as well, I hope. There's Dan from Dan's Shed, who's catching snakes and eating witchy grubs and all that sort of stuff. So a bit of like bush tucker man and stuff. And there's a few jobs ticked off on the roller. Probably were wattle grubs. There are no wattles in the district, but maybe. I put some Facebook photos up. There's a little bit of information or a few photos about the Fridge's new Marshall Portable. Hope he's not at home listening to this, because yeah, that's totally in jest. There's a Marshall Portable anyway, since put some pictures up about that. There's some pictures about the little Bay of Peacock engine, and I've got a lot of questions about that, and no real answers. That's what we don't have, is answers. So still working on that. This week was car registration week, so that's what we've actually achieved. It's one of the things I've achieved this weekend. Next week will be phone bill week, and then after that we're sort of back doing okay until we're going to put tyres on the car at some point and service it. Anyway, it never stops. Bill thinks we should be selling widgety grubs. Joe's messing around with his ZNC mill, trying to get it to replicate an error that's had a couple of times and not having any luck. Says either A, fix the error, or B, the error's waiting until he has sort of a serious job doing to crash. So we don't have an answer for that, but he's out there trying to get it to replicate the error. He's also an update on the surface grinder. Pulled the plain bearings out, and they're quite badly worn. They're fairly elliptical. To my mind, it's probably worth fixing the plain bearing machine, because if you've got the knowledge base to fix it, then probably the plain bearing machine's a better machine than a roller bearing machine. I don't know. There's various thoughts on that. But you certainly, it's a lot smoother running thing if it's right. But there isn't really the knowledge base to fix it, and they're a bit complicated. So he's bought, or he's buying, or he's got in touch with a company in Taiwan that sells a fairly decent roller bearing spindle about the right dimensions. And his mum make a new head and mount it on it, and I'm not sure if this is the way forward, but he seems to think it is, and that's why he bought it, was to fix the spindle. So good for him. I'm trying not to go down that rabbit hole too much. Anyway, there we go. I don't know, what else have I done, or I was going to tell you about that I hadn't done last week? Probably not very much. I think we were pretty well on top of things last week, and I'm not sure there's a whole lot more to actually share with anyone. My workshop needs a good vacuum up, and it'll get that before the end of the week, and then on the weekend probably I might make vows for this. Probably going to do a bit more study for my boiler certificate, which is seriously hard work, and probably I don't know, there's 1,000 other jobs we really need to do some to get this starting valve somewhere near ready to go back on. Anyway, if I've bitten off too much, more than I can chew, probably on all levels, but anyway, that's what we're here for. Here for a good time, not a long time. Dances with the Harvards, good morning. I don't know if anyone else has bitten off more than they chew. Maybe everyone else is just nicely controlled and just beetles along doing what they can and not worrying too much about the rest. I feel like there's all this stuff to do. We've still got a problem with the saw bench spindle in that getting it to run nice, the bearings in line and everything is a bit complicated. And probably what we're going to do is call in an expert with a line boring machine to do them in situ, I think. I think that's the way forward, is to set all the bearings up, and line them up nice, get everything right, bolt everything down, and get someone with a line boring machine to come up and set a cone up on each end and put the shaft in between them and test it so that everything's going to clean up, and then clean it out to 70 mil and we put the shaft in. I think that's the answer. That might have to wait a little while, but I'd like to get it done sooner rather than later. I'd like to get that going. But if we did it that way, then honestly, that would be perfect results. You'd use a lathe as a blind burning machine, but you can only do one at a time, mats. They're fairly big. And you've got to set them both up, and none of us have got a lathe that big. That's most of the problem. So we go round and round in circles trying to work out how to do it. If there's someone who can line bore a couple of bearings for at a reasonable price on site, I think that would be best, but I don't know if anyone can. We're going to make some phone calls and find out. I'm not sure what a reasonable price for half a day with a line boring machine would be, but it's probably more than I can afford anyway. We'll see. If anyone's got a line boring machine, hit us up and we'll bake a couple of meals to come and do it. Or Dan will. Max's in Western Australia is a bit difficult. Cutting Edge is in Queensland, but they're hours and hours and hours away. There must be someone down around Grafton somewhere. I think there's probably a couple of people who've got line boring machines. I mean, everyone's line boring excavators now. No one's making shafts and putting them on, clamping them in place and setting them up and hoping they fit anymore. That's the way it used to be done. But cheaper line boring machines make the job very much easier. And I don't know if it's going to cost any more than getting them done on HBM or something somewhere. And it's probably more of a something that's going to happen a little bit quicker. Anyway, we'll see. In other news, I've probably got a couple of cameras for sale. Might sell my Nikon F3 and my Nikon Mat, which are a couple of pretty decent pro and semi-pro Nikon film cameras. If anyone's sort of looking for something like that, let me know. Anyway. I'm not expecting anyone to machine the saw bench for nothing. But it needs to be done at some point. We're enough money into it now to get it finished, I think. Anyway. Big yawn. I've had a pretty big day actually. My first day back at work this week, but it's been a big day. I spent a few hours. These are spare drills that I've got doubles of that are already in my drill assortment. So I'm going to put them in a box now. I've got a box full of those sort of bearings. I've just got to sort them out. But I have actually spent a day sorting out basically a stack load of drills into the right holes. Sand groper. Anyway. I don't know what else to really to pass on. Very little information. You could make a oh, there we go. Look at that.
Oh, it does work now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're nice and clear compared to me, probably. There you go.
I'm going to be exciting. So I mean, I've got a 3D printer.
Oh, there's a 3D printer there. It's a bit exciting.
Yeah.
And a guitar. What's the locomotive on the windowsill?
Oh, that's a wooden kit that you sort of put together, and it's got like springs, and you wind up and it goes. So I started that about a year ago. And haven't got around to actually doing anything with it yet.
Fair enough. We all do things like that. Looks like it's a nice day at your house.
Yeah, not too bad. It's sort of heading towards the colder weather now. So.
Now, everyone says you've got an echo.
Yeah, I do. Well, that's because I'm on the phone, you see. So I don't know why that's happening.
We're in the middle of a live stream. Would you like to join in?
Oh no, I thought you might want to look at this. I'm CMM measuring the Jones and Shipman. Use the mill as a CMM.
Okay, we might go and look at that. Headphone, mate. I haven't done anything like that. The guest has left anyway. There you go. Now, Joe's here. Joe's measuring the bearings in the head with his milling machine. So we're going to just block off the camera while we walk through his private space, because that would tell too much about him.
So,
All the dead hookers and stuff. Here's the Jones and Shipman head on the actual on the table of the milling machine. John's getting stereo motion sickness, which was absolutely to be expected. And we've got an air compressor running.
so when you move this across, when this reads 0, it means the center of the spindle is directly above the edge. So it's just an edge finder.
Yeah.
I recommend everyone get one of these for their manual machines. They're so awesome. So that is, just jog up in microns. That is directly over the edge of this wheel. And that measurement is negative 0.984.
So this is a critical measurement in the manufacturer.
Yeah, we now all know. We just do some subtraction, and we now know all these exact distances, so we can make another one with the Taiwanese spindle coming.
So that's the theory behind that.
But this is a great CMM. It's not that accurate.
See, this is Joe's workshop. There's the poor CNC lathe over there that actually saw it in Anchor. We used Anchor once.
It's extremely dangerous.
Yeah, I don't think it's got a long enough walk around cord, because
So
you can't
5
hide behind the
kilowatts of spindle power, 7.5 kilowatts, which can ramp up to 20 kilowatts. When
Don't
it
look
feels
now,
like
but
it.
Joe's not actually wearing any pants.
The bed is about 600 mil wide bed, and it's got about 400 foot travel. So it's just for hogging steel.
And it's got swarf on it, so it actually has been used.
Yeah, it's been used. And it moves faster than you can stop it. It's fucking terrifying.
So it's the little lathe and the big mill, which is actually, with that light in the back, is very difficult to film. But anyway, I apologise for that. If Joe stands in the way, you've got more hope.
Oh, okay.
No, stay there. Oh, we can actually turn the light off. Does he sleep with his machines? Probably.
I tried.
That's probably how it works. Um,
232.95.
yeah, any more that you want to see of Joe than this, you've got to visit his OnlyFans. That's correct. So that's his current project. It's going to, you can see his politics up here. If we go out here, this is the back of the milling machine. Out here is the Jones and Shipman surface grinder with an almost cleaned up table and a vintage DRO on it. It's not a bad little machine except for spindle issues. So we're sorting that out. There's the power hacksaw, Joe's power hacksaw. There's my mill over there in the corner. And my D-bit grinder, which gets a little bit of work, and that door goes to the outside. So that's the tour that everyone wanted of this workshop. D-bit bit grinders here in the corner. Could do with the sweep up. The mill could also do with the sweep up, but it does get a bit of use. A bit dark out here at the moment. Really good idea is this shelf here at the side of the mill for the dividing head, so that you can just skid it across on the table and don't have to worry about lifting it up off the floor all the time. It's one of Dad's improvements. But this gets a fair bit of use. It's not a bad sort of a machine. There's a tool cabinet down there which you can't see because it's dark. I've actually gone as far as to bolt half a DRO on the wall here. So at some point we'll put some scales on the machine. There's a tooling cabinet and a vise there. And this is basically the space at the back. Something bounced. Bounce is good. I'm not going to ask about the Space Invader. You'll probably feel better if we don't. We've got a brand new plaster wall here, which I'm a little bit proud of that Joe's done. He's done a very good job of that. Look at this. It's got like architrave with not too many showing visible nails or anything. So that's what's happening out here.
She's done.
It's done.
She's measured up. We've measured up. Yeah. Now she's time to size up this time and ease unit. And turn off the mill.
See, he sounds like he knows what he's doing there, but we know otherwise. I'm just going to close this off so that you don't get the impression, erroneously actually, that all he does is play video games and sit here in his underwear. There we go. So that may or may not have been illuminating, and I'm sorry this is a pretty rambling all over the place sort of a live stream, to be honest. Not a whole lot to report except some progress on that and some progress on other things. But anyway, that's where we're at. Has anyone else got anything to report? What's everyone been up to? What's everyone made? I know Matt's has been flat out trying to get a machine apart. He looks like he's done really well with it. I got a couple more studs out of the Bayer Peacock engine. So they're all pretty beat up. We're going to have to make some new ones. I drew one of these up and we'll get some bar and make a few of them up. Tim Biscuit's still working on Polly and also on the car build. John Creasy made a screwdriver. That's very exciting. Actually looked like it was a good thing. Peter Nottle's probably still hiding from his neighbour. A little tank. That's good to see. 624 Dudley's getting a little shaper back in shape. Good stuff. I actually stood the cylinder head for this little engine up outside and put a bit of WD-40 and stuff around it, and we'll see if it frees up any. We'll have a look on Instagram at John. Have a look at John Creasy's feed on Instagram. He always posts cool stuff. Raymond snookered with work and uni. Yeah, I'm about the same. I'm sticking with work and study, and not that I've done enough of that. And messing around with this. So we're getting there, but I think everyone's busy. But not a one a parallel from us, Knox. That's very cool. You're going to need a machine shop at some point. Very cool. Bill went shopping, had a nap, drank some beer, and dribbled with a bunch of snoozers. A good bunch of snoozers. Fair enough. You've had a very good day. I went to the shops, but I went to work. I ended up spending most of the day messing around with what to do this for today. Can't remember what I did. I served a heap of customers. I'm not feeling focused about anything I did. Ultrasonic's a very useful thing. Get yourself, well, we'll talk about recipes at some point to biscuit. But ultrasonic's a useful thing. You'll find you'll use it a lot. Bill pulled his mill to bits. What's that about, Bill? I saw a picture of the mill with no table on it. An epic email about the road run on the 25th. I guess the road run on the 25th is happening. So we're having a road run on the 25th to the pub, the 25th of November. Better be the 25th of November. We're in trouble if it's the 25th of October. Anyone who's in northern New South Wales on the 25th of November is very welcome to come and tag along for a road run. If you're looking for a holiday, there's a pub to stay at. We've got a two-day road run. We're going to do a bit of a run around, some campfire cooking, and be some photo opportunities and probably some driving opportunities, all that sort of stuff. We would very much like to see you. There'll be a night at the pub, which you can participate in or not. And it's at Coots Crossing in northern New South Wales, which is near Grafton. So Grafton's probably close enough. But if anyone wants to make the trip, you're watching this and you think, gosh, that'd be awesome. There's a steamroller road run for 2 days. See a steamroller out on the road. Absolutely hit us up, because it should be pretty good fun. And if you're there the week before, well, still hit us up, because there'll be plenty to do to get ready. Just saying. Anyway, Dan's organising that. He's doing great. I'm just got to get the roller ready to do it. I'm not doing so great, but we'll get there. Anyway, hour's about up. Bored you all senseless. Dribbled a lot of crap. Had a look at Joe's milling machine. Had a look at this little engine. Haven't really had much of a look at the bits for the roller that we're working on. Maybe next week. And that's where we're at. If anyone's in northern New South Wales, seriously, if you're anywhere between Coffs Harbour and Queensland, Sunshine Coast, or anywhere between Newcastle and the Sunshine Coast, and you can make it for a weekend, If you're anywhere between Sydney and Gladstone and you can make it for a weekend, please do, because we'd awesome love to have you along and it'd be good fun. Hey, Stephen. Should have had you here as a guest. Anyway, absolutely. If you can make it, we'll be doing a roller road run. We'll probably do between 40 and 60 kilometres, and over 2 days. Probably not that much. We'd do 40 kilometres, I think, over 2 days, and it should be good fun. Please, if you can possibly make it, you and a significant other or whatever, give us a notice and turn up. We'll be having a party and a bit of a road run. So do that. Ross, it's only a plane trip. Got plenty of time to plan. Hope your house moving's going all right, Ross. Yeah, can't emphasize that enough. If someone wants to tag along, be pretty happy to have you. Absolutely be happy to have you. And I think that goes for any road run anywhere in the world. If you know someone who's got a steam engine and you see it out and about and you know where it lives, if you go and knock on the door and say, hey, look, I'm interested in steam engines. If you need a hand to clean an engine or to do anything to do with the engine, or put the engine away or tarp it up or play escort or buy you a round of drinks at the pub or anything else that might be involved, 99.9999% of people would be absolutely keen to have you on board. I think most of you already know that. That's the way it is. Don't ever think. I hear people say on the internet, I'm a bit shy, but I'd really like to have something to do with engines like that. Don't be shy. Put your hand up. Everyone needs a hand, even if it's just moral support of someone to sit around and bring half a carton of beer and help drink it. That's probably all most steam enthusiasts need to actually encouragement to get on and do stuff. And it makes a big difference. It really does, to have someone who's reasonable company who can come along when we're having a bit of a maintenance day or whatever, hold the end of a bit of rope or give us a hand with a tarp or climb up and oil things or whatever else. Be very, very, very happy to have you along. And when you become part of the team, there's all sorts of cool stuff that comes along, and eventually you end up with an engine, but don't think about that eventuality, because it's that way lies madness. Anyway, that's what I think, and that's my bit for that community. You should absolutely go along and say something. If you see an engine beside the road, pull up, get in behind, ask some questions. If they're standing around blocking the traffic and trying to fix a broken axle or something like that, they probably think you're going to get in the way. But if you word it right and say, is there anything I can do to help, there'll be something. absolutely. Anyway, that's my soapbox on that one. We don't have enough volunteers. We really appreciate the ones that do. And try and include people. I mean, it's awesome that people come along and not just give us a hand, but work on their projects and do things like that. Even if you got your own agenda, people will be pretty pleased to have you along. Anyway, sorry, got to be passionate about that one there. Apologies. That's how that works. Anyway, I'm probably going to call it a night. Thanks, everyone. There are details up on Discord and all that sort of stuff. There's details on Facebook on the Shenandoah Steam Sawmill Brewer, Shenandoah Steam Shed Facebook page. And if anyone's really keen, give us a week's notice. Work it out now. Give us a few weeks' notice, and we'd be very happy to help with getting you all sorted out and all that sort of stuff. Love to have you along. Turn up and you might never leave. So the Hotel California. Anyway, I'm out, I think. Thanks so much for joining in. Really appreciate the company and everyone tagging along. It's good finding out what everyone's doing. We might get a little bit... Yeah, the old fogies on Facebook. Facebook isn't really for old fogies and boomers. Sorry, it's not really the place for them. If you're that sort of person, you don't last long. But yeah, anyway, really appreciate you all tuning in and some time and a bit of company wherever you are in the world. Hope it's a nice day or a nice night if you're going into that, and we'll catch you soon. I'm out.